Okay, we're recording. Welcome everyone who's in the boardroom today, and also those on Zoom remotely. We will call the Personnel Commission of the Berkeley Unified School District meeting to order, and it is October 23rd, 2024 at approximately 4:32. Before we actually start the official portion of the meeting, as if you're looking at your agendas, you will see a box up at the top in which the new BCC appointee, Solly Alpert, was sworn in this afternoon, and he will be joining our commission at the November meeting. And so welcome, Mr. Alpert, and we look forward to working with you. And now, as Mr. Carter, Vice Chairperson Carter, indicated, it's a bit of a bittersweet moment because this will be actually the second time that I'm saying goodbye to you. It was fantastic that you did step in. We all understood it was going to be a temporary appointment by BCCE, and you stepped into the breach when there was a vacancy, and we all very much appreciate it, and I certainly appreciate having gotten to know you a little bit over the last couple of years. Okay, so now we will go ahead and have our roll call and establishment of our quorum. Madam Secretary, will you take care of that, please?
Sure. Chairperson Roeder.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Carter.
Here.
Commissioner Goldstein.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum, everyone is present, and the next order of business is public comments. So this is an opportunity for anyone who wishes to address, either from the boardroom or remotely, to address the commission. So we'll start with those in the boardroom. If you would just come up to the podium, identify yourself, and please make your comment.
Hello, my name is Mardon Wendt, and I am one of 11 library media specialists, and we're here representing ourselves, and we are very much looking forward to being on the agenda next month. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else in the boardroom? Does not look like it. And how about anyone like to make a public comment virtually? If you could raise your virtual hand. I don't see anyone. Sarah, do you see anyone? Okay, then we will close the public comment period and move on to the approval and adoption of the agenda. Any changes to the agenda? Yes, Commissioner Goldstein.
If I may, can we please pull 7C, D, E, and G for discussion?
7C, D, E, and G. Okay, they will be pulled for discussion. Any other changes to the agenda? If not, could we have a motion to approve the agenda as modified?
A motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded, and I agree. So our next item is the approval of the meeting minutes. We have two sets of minutes, I think. One for the September 23rd, 2024 regular meeting, and one for the October 1st, 2024 special meeting. Let's take them one at a time. Any suggested changes to the September 23rd, 2024 meeting minutes?
None for me.
None for me.
I do have a suggested change, and that's in item 7D. Well, is it D? It's the second paragraph in item 7. that starts with Chairperson Roeder noted that List 7A had an initial applicant pool of 53 candidates. So the next word is "the," and I think that needs to be deleted because I think it's just a stray word there. So it would go on, 53 candidates, so he questioned if the cut score had been raised since the eligibility list did, and I think we need to insert the word not, did not include any promotional candidates. Okay, you got all that, Sarah? Okay, that's my only change to those minutes. And I would move approval of the September 23rd minutes as revised.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and the minutes for September 23rd are approved unanimously. Now we have the minutes for the October 1st, 2024 meeting. Any suggested changes to those? I don't have any either.
I have none.
I'll move that we approve the October 1st, 2024 minutes.
I second.
Moved and seconded, I agree. So the October 1st, 2024 special meeting minutes are approved as submitted. All right, let's see where we are. Now we're on reports, and the first item is union reports. Do we have representatives? It looks like we do, I'm sure we do, of the union.
Okay. All right, for our BCC union report, I want to take this time to say, when I look up the definition of the words like integrity, impartiality, fairness, and genuine care for all people, regardless of race, nationality, sex, creed, caste, or color, one name comes to mind: Timothy Carter. Your dedication and unwavering support for the classified staff at Berkeley Unified speaks volumes. We cannot thank you enough for stepping into the role of interim when we needed someone most. You did so not for recognition or accolades, but because you truly care about the well-being and representation of classified staff. In those moments when others might hesitate, you took action because you understand the value of each and every person. There are many who watch these meetings, regardless of whether the seats behind me are filled, and through your example, you have taught us all invaluable lessons. Lessons not just about leadership, but about compassion and how to care for others. Commissioner Carter, we are grateful for your commitment, for your integrity, and for standing up for those who need a voice. You have left an indelible mark on this community, and for that, we thank you. So that's from our BCC Executive Board and from all BCC classified staff, and I'm sure Local 21. And then we also want to extend, on behalf of the BCC Executive Board, we want to extend a warm welcome to Soli as our new commissioner who will take office in November. And at this time, we would look forward to his leadership and his new perspective and a fresh start. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, very well said. And next, we have our district report. I do see that Assistant Superintendent Samantha Tobias Espinoza, I think, is present. Yes. Go ahead, Samantha, please.
Hello, thank you, commissioners. I also want to thank Mr. Carter for his work on the commission. We appreciate your dedication to our classified staff, as well as your comments and opinions that you've shared over this time period.
Sam, I can't hear you.
I see
Sorry.
the words, but I don't hear.
Sorry, my dogs have decided to contribute to the meeting. I wanted to say that I don't know
No,
where
we
it cut
still
off.
can't hear you, Samantha, I'm afraid.
Sorry. Is it any better? Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
No, we still unable to hear you.
Hey, Izzy, can you hear me?
Maybe she can read and somebody can transliterate from the, from what we see on the screen on her behalf.
Well, unless we're having someone well, it might have been Mr. Hernandez was asking if we could hear him, and I don't think we could.
I could hear him.
Are you speaking, Frank?
Yeah, we could hear her online, and it sounds like he could hear us. So it might be in the boardroom.
Well,
Probably
he's saying
can't
that
hear me.
online they can hear, but we can't.
All right, I guess we're checking
We
with
have
our
some technical issues. We're checking with our Well, maybe it would be in the interest of time, we could go to commissioners' reports, because I think everyone can hear us, and then hopefully. So, commissioners' reports. Either of my fellow commissioners have a report to give.
Well, I'll give a report. As you guys know, this is going to be my last meeting. I want to just say it was an honor and a privilege to be tapped on the shoulder to step in, even though this was a temporary position. I appreciated the opportunity to come back and serve on the commission, and hopefully we address some important issues. Some are still really close to my heart that I want to just put in the record so they don't get lost when I'm gone. One is hopefully the new personnel director will get a clear idea of what we mean by the cut score when that comes back up, when it comes back around. Also, I hope it's not forgotten that the class and comp study inside the Personnel Commission is really something that should be looked into and discussed a little bit further. And I just want to say those are the two things that are close to my heart, and hopefully they don't just go away after I'm gone. But I want to say it's going to be bittersweet leaving, and I want to thank everybody here for the support, helping me get back up to speed on being on the commission, and I want to say it's been a pleasure, and thank you all.
Thank you, Vice Chairperson Carter. Commissioner Goldstein.
Thank you. Well, there have been so many eloquent words said or, written in the text there about you that maybe I'll just try to say, we will miss you. I will personally miss you. Your path of inquiry is different from mine, and it really helps me to see someone else do something different, and I think it makes me better in terms of what I do. So really appreciate all the service that you've given to BUSD, and hope you will continue to have coffee with me from time to time.
Absolutely.
I want to give a shout out to Erin and the commission staff. They've really been chugging on a lot of volume these past couple months, and they haven't really missed a beat, as best I can tell, which is super impressive. But I think everybody's going full steam. A reminder that Election Day is on the 5th of November. We have 2 school board seats open. We have 3 candidates. Please be sure to vote. And lastly, I am looking forward to having a scheduled presentation to the board to present the class and comp study, and hope we'll hear more about that this session. So again, Commissioner Carter, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Goldstein. And as far as my report is concerned, I think I've expressed myself. The only thing that I would add, Vice Chairperson Carter, is you came onto this commission at a turbulent time, I think. We were in the midst of our class and comp study, which was not an easy task. You came on, as you pointed out, when there were issues dealing with cut scores. You were very instrumental in making sure we had a rubric in place for our step advances. And I think that's a big step advance for this commission. So thank you very much for your guidance, for your help, and for the wisdom that you provided to this commission. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, now let's see if I don't see Sarah. Do you think we are able to go back to, yes? Okay, let's try going back to Assistant Superintendent Samantha Tobias Espinoza for the district report.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Fabulous. All right. So thank you, commissioners, for giving me the opportunity to speak. I, again, wanted to echo what's been said to Mr. Carter. We also appreciate all the work you've done, the attention that you spend on the commission, and the opinions that you've shared, and the dedication that you have to our classified staff. I also wanted to share that we are in the process of negotiating our contracts with both BCCE and Local 21, and hope to have more positive comments in the future regarding that. I also wanted to share that the district welcomes the new commissioner, and will make comments about that at the next meeting. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Tobias Espinoza. All right, so now we are on our Personnel Director's report. Erin, would you like to present that, please?
Sure. So as was mentioned, today's marks Commissioner Carter's last meeting. It has been such a pleasure working with you, and I feel like I've known you the longest at this point. You were here when I started. I found you to be consistently demonstrate fairness, and you always strive for transparency, and you also show empathy towards our classified employees, and we really appreciate that. It was just such a joy to have you join us back again. So thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
And as we also heard, Commissioner Carter will be succeeded by Sally Alpert. He was sworn in prior to this meeting. We're looking forward to working with Sally. Next month, when we present the Personnel Commission's annual report for 23-24 school year, we hope to include more information about our new commissioner to help everyone get better acquainted with him. And now turning to the personnel activity report for September, which can be found on page 9. We see that the PC staff has been busy. We're still early in the school year and are actively staffing school sites. As reflected in tonight's agenda, we have successfully generated 7 eligibility lists. We administered a total of 177 exams, including 66 training and experience assessments, 50 written exams, 35 oral exams, and 25 performance exams, averaging 8.9 exams per day. Additionally, we welcomed 8 new hires, 1 rehire, 1 new assignment, and 3 promotions. As always, I'd like to thank our HR staff for their support onboarding all of these employees and setting them up with their BOSD career. Earlier this month, we held a special meeting to draft a referral letter for the compensation and classification study summary to be sent to the board. We included 4 reports and the commission's recommendations. We also provided a timeline highlighting key dates and also class aids that documented the findings and the positions that the study would most impact. This information has now been sent to the district for presentation, and it was confirmed that it would be presented at the November 6th board meeting. I'll coordinate with Assistant Superintendent of HR, Samantha Tobias Espinoza, to ensure that the study is ready to be presented, and I will provide updates to the commission following that meeting. I would also like to mention that we did receive an agenda item request related to the reclassification of the current library media specialist. Unfortunately, the request came in a little bit past our deadline, but in the meantime, I will contact staff, the union, and the district to gather necessary information to move forward. At our next meeting, I do plan to discuss the topic of reclassifications and propose that we develop a more structured process to move forward with the reclassifications that fall under the Personnel Commission's purview. And then lastly, I want to remind our commissioners that the 2024 Northern California CSPCA Conference is coming up, and it's taking place October 27th and 28th at the Napa Marriott Hotel. Important topics such as preparing the workforce for AI, Title IX updates, and the Merit Systems value will be discussed. Chairperson Roeder will be attending, and it's not too late for other commissioners to register. But if you can't make it, the next conference will be held in Napa as well from March 16th to 18th, 2025. And then that concludes my report for this meeting. I'd like to thank all of the staff that are here joining us today, and appreciate your continued hard work. Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much, Interim Executive Director. So let's see. So we're now on item 7, which are the consent items, ratification of eligibility lists. So if I got it correct, there is no request to pull item 7A, which is the cook, item 7B, instructional assistant 2, special education, and eligibility list 7F, which is for the school bus driver. So there being no request to pull those items from the consent calendar, is there a motion to approve those items on the consent calendar?
Sure, I'll motion that we approve items 7A, B, and F.
I second.
And I agree, those items 7A, B, and F are approved. And now we will go to the items that need discussion. And I'm going to look to Commissioner Goldstein, who requested that they be, I don't know if you want to talk about all of them together as a group or individually, it's entirely up to you.
Thank you. Maybe we can group together C, E, and G. These were all recruitments where the interval between the written and the oral, or the oral and the practicum, were more lengthy than usual. And I would just like to understand a little bit about what our circumstances were there. Particularly C, which had a 43-day interval. That was the instructional specialist for art.
Yeah, so this was kind of a timing factor that played in. We typically, for example, the instructional specialist art, there aren't a lot of available subject matter experts in this classification. And when we scheduled the written exam, we were then having to set up the oral exam panel right when school was starting. And so we had a lot of delays with the start of school. And so we were finally able to secure it almost a month later when the subject matter experts became available. And then the other one was drama, IS drama?
Correct.
Okay.
Actually, IS drama is a different question.
Oh, right.
So let's skip that one for the moment, and
Okay.
let's just talk about E and G.
E and G. So E, instructional technology technician, that is about 2 weeks.
I got little over 3 weeks.
Instruction, August 28th, September 19th.
Yeah,
So yeah, I believe that also fell in.
same problem.
Yeah. Most of our panelists are current, especially in these classifications, are current school district site employees, and so it kind of just
was just-
coincided with the start of school.
Okay,
And then student body account tech, was it? And that's, again, the same. We only have one position in the district, and so our subject matter experts weren't available until later in the month. That is a typo, though. I do want to correct that. The written exam was not administered September 10th. It was administered the 25th of September. So I did look into that and found that the date for the written exam was actually the 25th of September.
okay, so actually, this one.
Yeah.
Was just fine, right? Okay, this was 8 days. Got it. Thank you. And then the other one I had a question about was just the IS for drama, because I noticed we had only 2 ranks, and I didn't expect it would be that challenging.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the higher level paraprofessional classifications, and so we didn't have a large pool of applicants to begin with. We had very few applicants in this recruitment.
Thank you. I'm glad 2 of them got through.
Yes.
That's good. I don't have any other
Okay,
questions.
your questions, Commissioner Goldstein, appear to have been answered, and they were very well taken. I was interested also in those answers. Is there a motion to then approve 7C, 7D, 7E, and 7G?
A motion to approve.
Well, I'll second it. And
And I agree.
Commissioner Goldstein?
I agree.
Okay, those are also approved unanimously. We're on to item 8, which is our conference item, which is a step advance request for M. Asano. Oftentimes, it's my practice and I apologize in advance for mispronouncing the name, Musashi Asano. If that person is present, that employee is present, you can address us. I don't see a hand up virtually. Well, do I? No, I don't see any, and I don't see anyone in the boardroom. Okay, Ms. Arnaz, would you present this item, please?
Sure. So Mr. Asano submitted his request for an advanced step placement at step 4. He holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from UC San Diego, and he also had submitted several certifications related to project management and data analysis. But unfortunately, according to our step advanced rubric that we presented on June 26th, and also Merit Rule 70.100.1, a step advance placement can only be granted if the recruitment process for the position has been challenging. And in this case, with the communication specialist position, didn't really meet the criteria. The recruitment itself, it was posted on March 1st, 2024, and we received 84 applications. And then that resulted in 5 candidates making it on the eligibility list. And then the district only currently has 2 positions in that classification. There was only 1 vacancy at the time. So based on all this information, the step advanced placement does not meet the approval requirements.
Thank you, Ms. Arnaz. Comments from the commissioners?
I do appreciate Mr. Asano's request and what he's going to bring to the district, and I know that the district's going to benefit from his experience and his education. Also want to say I appreciate the fact that we're sticking with the rubric that that the PC agreed on and so very well pointed out by Mr. Ordez. Thank you for bringing it, and thank you, Mr. Asano, for coming to the district.
Commissioner Goldstein, any comments?
Just a question. I noticed that this employee was on the new hire report. So this is someone who's actually started
Yes.
already with the district?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Well, I do want to also agree very much with Vice Chairperson Carter that it does need to be understood that this is no reflection whatsoever on Mr. Asano's qualifications and experience and education. All of those are exemplary, and I agree with Mr. Carter that the district is lucky to have Mr. Asano as part of our staff. But that our rules are very clear that step advanced placements are reserved exclusively for classifications where it is difficult to recruit for those classifications. And also the fact that additional vacancies might exist, multiple vacancies, also goes into that question of recruitment, but none of those are present in this situation. One quick question, Aaron, is are you able to sort of make a more general assessment of the communications specialist recruitments more generally? In other words, I know you've explained that this particular recruitment was most definitely, I won't say easy, but it was a recruitment that doesn't qualify as an exceptionally difficult recruitment. Would that apply more generally to the communications specialists?
So it's a fairly new classification and position in our district. We've only recruited once before, and we did generate a complete list. I can't remember how busy the traffic was, the recruitment traffic, but I do know that at the time we did generate a complete list. And so this was just our second recruitment, and I don't recall it being challenging the first time or needing to repost it the first time.
Great, thank you for that. Commissioner Goldstein.
I might add one thing that I think is true is not all of our positions were benchmarked, and I don't think that this position was benchmarked in the study. You know, at this point, the study is done, you know, but probably we will want to go back and just do informal benchmarking, maybe against some of our peer districts that were used in the study, just to sort of see where we are on this one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no further comments from the commission, perhaps we could have a motion on this.
Are we motioning to approve the interim personnel director's recommendation?
Okay.
That's your motion.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, right.
Yes.
Which is to deny the
Which
request.
is to deny the request.
Okay, got it. I'll second.
And I agree as well. So unfortunately, we are required to deny Mr. Asano's request. All right. Now we are on item 9. So by way of slight introduction on this, this is calling for a public hearing, which is in accordance with the Education Code, Section 45-256B2 and BF. 2F. And at the last meeting, Vice Chairperson Carter and I announced our intention to reappoint Heidi Goldstein as the third commissioner, the jointly appointed commissioner. And so now, under the Education Code, it's the opportunity of the public, meaning the public, the unions, anyone who wishes to address the commission regarding this reappointment. Now is the time to do so. So I will declare that the public hearing on the nomination of Heidi Goldstein is now open. Does anyone want to discuss this? I'm not sure, put on my distance glasses. I don't see anyone coming forward from the boardroom. I do see a hand up. Okay, I see a hand up by Denise Diggs-Ray, who is virtual via Zoom. So Denise, please go ahead and present your comment.
Yes, thank you very much. I am a bit disappointed given the statements of Commissioner Goldstein from the last meeting, that she didn't think the Clerk Hernandez was, as the union president, was being correct in not assuming that and not encouraging members to participate in the classification study. This again makes me think of her not being a real part of the commission, just part of the district. And also to the fact that this has happened not more than once that I'm aware of, but twice. And I disagree with the commission and the union, whoever it was that agreed to appoint her again. We need someone that's fair. And unfortunately, she showed her true colors at the last meeting. I don't consider her to be fair to the district and to the union. So therefore, not to the Personnel Commission meeting, commission members and the union. I'm disappointed, but unfortunately, obviously, there was nobody else that had volunteered for the position. So she's kind of like, okay, we're going to push her in there. She's the only one. That's my statement.
Thank you, Ms. Diggs-Ray. Appreciated. Okay, your hand is down. And Ms. Scher, did you have a comment?
So what I would like to say is to just express some concerns regarding the bias that I feel in the actions of the joint appointed personnel commissioner. So particularly with respects to the union. But as we move forward, it is essential to ensure a transparent, fair, and impartial process that serves the best interests of all parties. We are committed, the union, to fostering a productive and respectful working relationship. And we hope that all involved can uphold these values to maintain trust and collaboration over the next 3 years. Ensuring fairness and neutrality is key to a successful partnership. So that's what we're asking for. Whatever happens, that is what we're asking for. And that's what I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you, Mildred, very much. Any other comments, either virtually or from the boardroom? I don't see anyone with their hand. Say it again? Online? Well, Mr. Castillo, welcome to our commission meeting. And yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. It's actually nice to see everyone. Thank you, Commission, for allowing me to speak at public comment. I am calling in to speak on behalf of Ms. Goldstein. I will share with you in 2 minutes my own experience and then my opinion on why she would continue to serve Berkeley as a good joint chair. In a time where I had a lot of questions, she was incredibly patient. I always found her to be someone who was balanced, took in a lot of information before making decisions. When she did disagree, she was willing to talk about it. I think that in that respect, she's going to be good to any executive director that serves after me. In regards to Berkeley, Berkeley Unified will always be something, a district close to me and close to my heart. There's a lot of really good employees there. And I believe strongly that you need to have some balance, and you frankly need to have some disagreement at times. I think that there could be a propensity in that, in my own observation, that when there's a disagreement, that there are people that will just say, well, now I disagree with you, so I don't want you here any longer. And I think that that would be a mistake, in my opinion. That said, I think that the right thing to do, in my public comment opinion, again, I no longer work there, is that Heidi Goldstein serves the district, and she serves the district's interests very well. And I would hate to see her not serve on the commission any longer. Thank you all for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo. Appreciate your comments. Let's see. Any other comments virtually? I don't see anyone, and I don't think I see anyone.
Am I allowed to make a comment?
Certainly, but I think I saw a hand. Yes.
How you guys doing? Good evening.
Good evening.
You know me, I'm Steve Theisel. Been around a little bit, not a lot. Just for my understanding and clarity, how do you get elected to the position? How does any of you get elected to the position? Is it open to the public and we vote on somebody? Or is it an appointee type thing from within whatever? I don't know.
Well, normally we don't. This is a public hearing, so maybe it is appropriate to respond. I'm not entirely sure. But to answer your question, so there's an appointee from the Board of Education. The Board of Education appoints one of the commissioners. I am that commissioner. The other commissioner is appointed by the union that represents the majority of classified employees, and of course that's BCCE. So BCCE has made the appointment of Mr. Carter and now of Mr. Alpert. And then the third commissioner, and this is all set out in the education code, the third commissioner is a joint appointment of myself and Mr. Carter. If by a specific date, I think it's September 30th, if we cannot agree on who that appointment should be, then it goes to the superintendent of public instruction for the state of California, who is Tony Thurman, and that person would be the one responsible for making that third appointment. But since, in this case, at the last meeting, Mr. Carter and I announced our intention to reappoint Ms. Goldstein, then that's why we're having this public hearing.
Okay, great.
I hope that's clear.
I just wanted to know because I didn't.
Sure,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And if I just may add one small detail, the joint appointee applies for the position when it's open. And that's who we appoint from the applicants and from the people who submit applications. The appointed commissioners choose between those applications, and that's how that third appointee is chosen.
Thank you. Commissioner Goldstein.
Thank you so much for explaining all that. And I'll add that when I came onto the commission, I followed exactly the process they described. I applied in 2015 for the position. The commissioners were actually split in their vote as to whether or not they wanted me on the commission. It went to the then superintendent of public instruction, and that's how I was placed on the commission in 2016. So just a couple brief remarks.
Please.
I'm honored that you all have nominated me to be reappointed. Thank you for that. And as many of you know, I've served on the commission since February of 2016, and that's about 9 years. So today marks the third time I'm standing for reappointment. I think most of you know this, but for the sake of the folks at home, we are a merit district here at BUSD, and the commission plays a substantial role in administrating the system for fair, unbiased, transparent, and rigorous process of hiring classified services positions, promotion, and retention. We also are unique in our focus of balancing and resolving some of the inherent tensions and contradictions that arise in a dynamic institution like BUSD. We have multiple unions, we have a lot of stakeholders. Everyone has different ideas about what the right thing to do, to do is. The commission exists and it enables BUSD to avoid some real pitfalls in terms of employment and hiring and placement. It allows us to avoid favoritism in terms of hiring or placement. And it also makes sure that our placements are based on relevant skills and qualifications for the job, not just tenure. You all may be aware there was a recent bill that transited the California legislature that was actually looking to change that approach and actually allow placement by dint of tenure into other roles in a job class. One thing the Merit Commission says is actually you really need the skills and capabilities to do the job well, and I think that's part of why BUSD is such an attractive place to work. The people who work here know their stuff and they do it well, and that's important, and we support that. So, there have just been a tremendous amount of activity in the past 9 years. I'm proud of the accomplishments that we've achieved together on the commission, all of us, staff and commissioners. And this is really in the service of what our superintendent calls the 4 E's, the excellence, equity, engagement, and enrichment that the district offers to its students. I won't go through a list of those things in particular, except to say that there are 2 very significant projects, both of which were launched some time ago when I was chair, that have taken some time to percolate through. The first, and I look forward to these actually being brought to fruition in this term. The first is something that our chair, Roeder, has been just diligently managing, and that is a revisit of our commission rules, which haven't been updated since the mid-1980s. And he has worked very hard reviewing these rules to bring them to currency and relevance, and I'm looking forward to completing that work next year. The other was launching a class and comp study. The last class and comp study BUSD had was performed in 2012. The implementation finished in 2016. Fundamentally, it's been about a decade since we have looked at this. And it is so important to do something like this because to understand the competitiveness of our district with other districts around us, because that's who we compete with when we try to hire, you need data. So, it's unclear where this will go from here. It is really for the board to decide what they think of our recommendations, what they think of the findings from the study. I'm very aware that negotiations are going on with the union partners, And, there's a whole different story behind those. So the point is, we got the class and comp study queued up and we got it accomplished. And we have some idea of where we are. And this is a public document. If you look at it, it's a range. Some places we pay a lot for positions compared to other districts. Many other positions are just spot on. And then there are some where we don't pay as competitively as others. It will be for the governing board to decide what they think about that and if they want to correct that or how they want to correct that. So I'll conclude by saying that the work of a commissioner requires knowledge of district history, its operations, and organizationally how it's put together. It requires a sensitivity to the goals of our union partners and to individual employee circumstances. It requires familiarity with the California Educational Code. Erin buys us a new one every year. I'm looking forward to 2025. It's 2 volumes, both that thick. You need to have an understanding of actually employment law and practices here in California. So the commission, and in particular this position, the joint appointment commissioner, really serves as a check and balance across all these disparate elements. And it tries to ensure that the best interests of the district and all of its stakeholders, and there are many, are served. So it's been enormously helpful to me to be able to bring my professional background to the commission in human resources and organizational development, and I try to leverage that, and I try to support commission staff with that knowledge. And I think my effectiveness has been enhanced over my years of service. So I am looking forward to bringing this to bear on the challenges and opportunities that we have in the next 3 years, collaboratively and respectfully, as Mildred spoke to. So to my fellow commissioners, thank you for your support, really appreciated. And to the PC staff, you all are awesome. You're dedicated professionals, you get a lot done, and I will support you in any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Goldstein. Let's see, I see virtual hand up by Denise Diggs-Ray, unless that was from a previous comment. Denise, do you have a new comment to make at this point?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please go ahead, and then I think we'll need to close the public hearing. Go ahead.
I want to say, unfortunately, I believe that Commissioner Goldstein is biased, especially when it comes to the to BCCE, based on the information that she provided, the statement she provided from the last meeting, just not in the notes, in regards to surveys, that it wouldn't have made a difference. Thank you, Sarah, for sending the committee the surveys. And if anybody looked at the surveys, even though it may not have been 100, let's say it was 5, all 5 surveys said they were in disagreement with what the consultants were saying. And that alone tells you something was wrong. However, no one looked at that, no one thought about that, and did anything about it. So the bias of the surveys, I think that on the classification study is important. And I don't know who the next commissioner will be, who will replace Mr. Carter, but I hope he has more information and tolerance in compared to Ms. Goldstein, because right now I just do not trust her as a commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Diggs-Ray. We will now declare that the public hearing is closed, and now we will move on to item 10, which is our motion to appoint Heidi Goldstein as Personnel Commissioner for the joint appointed term, which is effective noon on December 1st, 2024, until December 1st, 2027. And maybe before we vote, I just wanted to make a couple of comments. One is, I am cognizant of the comments that were made during the public hearing, comments by Denise Diggs-Ray, and to some extent comments by Ms. Scher. Whether I would have expressed myself in exactly the same way under the same subject, I don't know. I also know that there's a lot of frustration with respect to the class and comp study, and I think some of the objections are a consequence of that frustration that I think appears from all parties to this. Ms. Goldstein and I probably agree on the overwhelming majority of issues that come before this commission that have over the last 4 years or so. We disagree sometimes, and that's okay. I think the measure of being a commissioner, and in this case, I believe that Heidi Goldstein overwhelmingly demonstrates the qualities that we want in a jointly appointed commissioner. She brings experience, a wealth of experience on the commission. She's very knowledgeable about the arcane rules that exist in the merit rules and also in the education code. Her knowledge and experience in as an HR professional, I think also is extremely beneficial to our commission. I think Ms. Goldstein truly deeply cares about our district, about the children, the students that are served in our district, and about the classified employees. I believe that she's committed to all three of those stakeholders. And so I'm extraordinarily happy and pleased to reappoint Ms. Goldstein as our jointly appointed commissioner. Mr. Carter.
Yeah, I do want to say I respect everyone's opinion, and I appreciate the opinions that were shared. I want to point out that when Heidi was first appointed, and it was a split decision, it was me who recommended that we bring her on board at the time, back in 2012?
It feels like 2012, no,
Feels like
2015.
2015. And so since her appointment to the commission when I was here and this recent time, my reappointment, I respect the knowledge and the wealth of knowledge that she brings to the commission that we didn't have before in this position here. And I think an outside view is really helpful here. Again, we don't always agree, but I believe the point of view that she brings to the commission is valuable. And I appreciate your willingness to go at it again for another 3 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, with that said, I think I will move the reappointment of Heidi Goldstein as the jointly appointed commissioner for the term that begins on December 1st, 2024 through December 1st, 2027.
I second.
Do I vote on
Okay?
this?
No, you don't vote.
okay.
This is one where you don't get to vote. You can say, I accept.
I accept. How's that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations. And now we are moving on to another item, which is our closed session, and this has to do with the hiring process that we are going through for the new executive director of the Classified Personnel Commission. And so we will be adjourned for the closed session. I don't expect it to take more than half an hour. It could be less. And then we will have a report out from the closed session when it is over. So we are in adjournment. Let's, okay. Hello, everyone, and we are now back from our closed session, and it is 6:15. And the report from the closed session is that we received an update regarding the progress that has been made to date. As we know, Philip Gordillo, who is the executive director of the CSPCA, is guiding this process. We have decided to hold a special call meeting on Tuesday, November 12th at 10 a.m. for the purpose of approving an eligibility list for the recruitment of the new executive director of the Personnel Commission. And our intention is that interviews for that position will be conducted by the Personnel Commission after the new BCCE appointed commissioner has officially begun his term. And that's the report from the closed session. So therefore, we will go on to our second public comment period. I don't have my laptop going, so Sarah's going to help to let me know if there's anybody remotely who would like to make a public comment. Is there anybody in the room right now, in the boardroom, who would like to make a public comment at this time? Appears not. Is there anyone, Sarah, remotely? Did you say there is? Denise. Denise, please go ahead and make your public comment.
Thank you very much. I'm a bit confused because information that is said in the previous PC meeting is not recorded or commented on in this PC meeting. And I'm specifically speaking in regards to the classification study. There was supposed to be information that was presented to the, which I think there was, to the steering committee. And based on that, some of the information was going to be the commission could look at in regards to, and I mentioned this before, in regards to the summary of the survey. I'm not understanding why the PC is moving forward with their recommendation for the comp class study when there has been a lot of members, specifically BCCE members, that are not in agreement with that and try to communicate that to the consultants, but the consultants didn't take their information into consideration. And specifically, I'm speaking in regards to Rod Caraway, but also in regards, as I said before, into the survey. I'm not understanding that. I don't understand how the PC can move forward. And there has been such disagreement between BCCE and the consultants. That's why I said before I was not in agreement with Member Goldstein being reappointed because she said that the surveys didn't matter. But if you looked at the surveys, there were maybe 5 surveys. All of them said they were not in agreement with the consultant because the consultant didn't get back to them. So I'm really confused about that. And then the other part is that I don't understand why all of the information from the previous meeting is not being documented in the current meeting, specifically in what Ms. Goldstein said. Sorry, PC member Goldstein said. in regards to the Frank Hernandez and what she thought he did, but he didn't do, and in regards to what had actually happened. I'm not understanding how the PC is ignoring information and just moving forward without any regards to, it seems like, to anybody that's saying anything. I would appreciate, and I know you guys can't respond to me because this is public comment. I will put this as an agenda item because it doesn't seem like it should be moving forward. And I'm very disappointed, as a lot of members are. That's why a lot of BCCE members did not participate, because it doesn't seem like the commission is doing fair compensation and information from its members. They want to. You guys say you want to, but then when some members respond, you just ignore it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Diggs-Ray. Appreciate it. Any other public comments? No. So seeing no further public comments, we will have our special call meeting on November 12th at 10 a.m. At a location to be determined, and then we will have our regular meeting on November 22nd in this boardroom, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yes, it's on a Friday. I don't think there's any more business to come before the commission, so we will stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.